Hello and welcome to Talking Trades, a weekly podcast where we talk about comics so you don't have to. I'm Jeremy, I'm a DC fan.
And I'm John, I'm a Marvel nut.
And unfortunately, Matt will not be with us today. He is taking a personal day, and that's totally fine. Just send Matt your love, because we're going to send it to him. But that's okay. We needed to get together. My busy schedule kind of screwed up our recording, but we need to talk about Falcon the Winter Soldier, episodes 4, 5, and 6.
And Buck.
Bird and Buck. John, the first 3 episodes left me with just so many happy feelings. How were you excited going into the next 3? How did they meet your expectations? What do you think?
I was very excited to go into them. I love the show overall. There's a lot going on, and I feel that only one thing had adequate time to breathe and stick the landing very, very well. Now,
I wonder if some of that was due, and I saw something online that there was part of it was a pandemic-related story, or there was something that was going on with the pandemic, and they had to change it.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I found an article dated 2 days ago, which is May 1st, the 29th, April 29th.
Okay.
From a director saying that they had most of the show already done. As far as major themes, there never was a pandemic plot. That wasn't the case. The only thing they changed were subtle, minor character tweaks. Most importantly, they wanted the audience to kind of see what John Walker was going through, and kind of what was going through his head. Was the biggest thing that changed. There was never a pandemic plot.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I do like that change. I do like, getting to let John Walker breathe a little bit, and you see what's going on with him, because he's not necessarily the worst villain of all time. He's not even necessarily a villain. He's just he's a bad good guy, and he's a decent enough bad guy.
In many ways, he's a product of the system.
Yes.
Which has its own baggage, but here we are.
Yes, absolutely. But it's not necessarily he's not the devil. He's not Mephisto, which we predicted. Ugh. We were wrong again.
We got Loki coming up. Maybe Loki, who knows?
God, or maybe Mephisto just doesn't make it. Who knows? But I agree with you. I think that there was some stuff that could have been let breathe a little longer, but I loved the show as a whole. The thing that you think landed really well was what?
Sam Wilson. His arc, perfect. Amazingly well done.
So I'm going to have to disagree with you there, John. Sam Wilson is perfect. Oh, wait, you said that. Never mind, I'm agreeing with you. My bad, I mixed up the 2 words. Yeah, what a good arc, man. What a great arc. And Anthony Mackie's so fun and so talented, and we got to see more of Anthony Mackie. He's great. But Bucky was perfect.
Bucky was great. I wish he got more time, but I think with 6 episodes, you had to pick one or the other, and I think they made the right decision, to be honest.
Judging by the end credits, yes, I would agree.
Well, I also think of the 2, it's the more interesting story. The story that, of the 2, absolutely should be told now over the other.
And so Bucky Bucky does get some of his story told, but I think Bucky's real story is going to be when he's the leader of the Thunderbolts.
We shall see.
It's got to happen, right? They introduce Julia
Bucky and the
Thunderbolts
is a bit later and different than what they're setting up.
Yeah, but eventually. Come on, it'd be so good.
After standoff? Sure.
No. They're not setting up standoff, are they? No.
I don't think so, but we got Zemo now.
Well, the Thunderbolts were around way before standoff.
They were, but not with Bucky. Bucky was a part of the
Yeah, but come on. They're already changing
setting
stuff.
Up are actual villains.
No, they don't need it. Then they would just go, it's the Suicide Squad. They got to change it. Come on.
No, legally distinct, man.
Legally distinct. They have a different name. So episode 3 ended with some stuff happened, but nothing insane.
And you guys were Melage appeared and was like, "I'm here for Zemo."
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was
the word. I don't even know what that accent was. It was awful. But she says,
you know what, John? You did a good job.
She leaves trails of breadcrumbs that only Bucky would be able to find. To her, it says, "I'm here for Zemo," and roll credits.
And that resolves itself in a really cool way. So that resolves itself with in episode 4. He's like, yeah, come on, give us some more time with Zemo, but you can absolutely take him when we're done. She's like, you have a day that I'm coming for Zemo. And Zemo's like, oh, so what is going on? I don't know what accent he has. He's like, it's like German, Austrian, whatever. It's actually
It's
Sokovian.
supposed to be Sokovian, yeah.
It's Sokovian, actually, which is nothing like Germany. It's a different country.
You know, Peprikesh, you know that?
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, yeah, just so you know, Zemo, they're coming for you. And he's like, okay, sounds good. And Walker bursts in, he's like, hey, just so you know, I'm coming for you, Zemo. You're coming with me. And they're like, no, he's not. We need him. He's like our best lead right now. I'm like, yeah, you busted him out of prison. Like, nah, technically he busted himself out and we just picked him up. We didn't technically bust him out, which is not a lie.
He was the one sitting there reading Machiavelli. Like, let's just put all the evidence together.
Who lets a prisoner read Machiavelli? You're just asking for him to escape.
Right, exactly.
So Walker's like, no. Like, you gotta let me take him. He's a bad guy. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no. We're gonna do this thing. He's gonna lead us to Carly. He's gonna get us to Carly, which he does. And Sam's gonna talk to Carly. So they end up using Zemo to get to Carly, doing some small shenanigans. It's very cute. And Sam's like, let me just get a one-on-one with Carly. Let me talk to her. And Walker's like, you got 10 minutes because I'm the worst. And Sam's getting through to Carly during this conversation. Carly had just lost
10 minutes.
Yeah. Carly had just lost her mother figure, who was also the mother figure of like most of the people after the blip. And she was like a big deal, which her name, I guess, actually means like citizen of the world.
Oh, that's nice.
When translated, so that's kind of cool.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I saw that on a Easter egg video. So after she dies, Sam's like, hey, listen, I get it. I do understand where you're coming from. She's like, no, you don't. He goes, no, I literally do. I sincerely understand your fight, but the way you're going about your fight isn't going to help you. And she's like, oh, so you're saying I just have to protest peacefully? And he's like, well, no, but there's better ways to do this, which I don't know if this was the intent, but it kind of felt like, you know, you can't tell people how to civilly unrest, right? However, I think that Sam has literally the most like standing to tell people how to civilly unrest.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Right? Like if I as a white guy go, hey, black guy, you can't protest that way, I'm the jerk. But like if a black guy who was in the military, who is an Avenger, goes, hey, listen, I have some ideas, you listen to him. Like, yep. He's probably got a good suggestion for you.
Well, he's also the only one willing to give Carly the time of day and have a conversation.
Right. He hasn't
tried
to hurt her.
No one else is even remotely open to that.
To that point, during their conversation, John walks in and does not give her the opportunity to speak. He's like, you're coming with me. He's like, this was a setup. He's like, no, it wasn't. I swear, this guy's a jerk. And John's like, you coming with me. And big fight happens.
He sounded like an old crone. You're coming with me.
I mean, isn't that what John Walker sounds like to you guys? Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, he's awful, but no, not a crone.
Not a crone.
Like the ultimate Chad is what he sounds like to me.
He's not a crow. He's a what's his name? Russell. No, Russell. Yeah, Russell. He's a Russell.
Russell.
Not a Russell Crowe. I'm done. Sorry, that was stupid.
It's okay.
It's a different actor
entirely. We're just going to put that one aside, shelf that one for later.
Don't edit this out, future Jeremy. Let me dwell in my sadness. The big fight happens, you know, across a bunch of really cool set pieces. Battlestar comes in, Lamar, and is like helping. But here's the thing. Battlestar is not a superhero. The Flag Smashers have the serum. And, you know, John finds some of the serum. And he's like, oh, cool, I have this. And the catalyst to kind of make him take the serum is Lamar is killed by Carly. She punches him in the chest so hard, and he falls back against like a pillar, and the blow stops his heart. And he dies. And John is furious. He chases down one of the Flag Smashers and brutally executes him on the steps of what looks like the Trevi Fountain, but isn't the Trevi Fountain in Italy. This is in... Not Sokovia. Is this a real place that they're in?
It is a real place that they're in. It's in Latvia.
Okay, they're in Latvia, and John Walker.
Because in the first half of the first episode, remember they were trying to get Batroc, and then the military was, or I think Torres was like, hey, yeah, listen, if he goes across that border into Latvia, like, we're done. So it's Latvia that they're.
Gotcha. So kills this guy in like out in the open in front of God and everybody, I believe is what you said earlier, John, when we recorded this the first time. By the way, we're doing the second take, but honestly, it's good because we missed something, so that's cool. John does this, and everyone sees it, and that's where the episode ends. And I'm gonna say that a good chunk of me was like, he's not gonna have any consequences. He's not gonna have any consequences. Of course, he's not gonna have any consequences. Not gonna have any consequences. I was wrong because episode 5 opens essentially with his court-martial. He loses all of the ranks and privileges of Captain America. He is not dishonorably discharged, but he is discharged immediately.
Less than honorable is the term.
Less than honorable, thank you. Which is a completely different thing from dishonorable and honorable. So that's good to know. There's 3 kinds of discharge in the military, and I didn't know that. I thought it was either you're a good guy or you're a bad guy. But apparently, there's a we don't want to talk about it, which makes perfect sense for the United States military.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stripped of all his ranks, stripped of everything. And that's when we meet Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Val. But don't call her Val. That. She is Madam Hydra. And she's like, hey, the 2 smartest things we ever did were dating this hot piece over here. You're doing great. Talks to John Walker's girlfriend. And says to John, and the second thing is when you picked up that phone. He's like, what phone did I pick up? She goes, when I give you a call later.
Her full name, the character name is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Or
Countess.
Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Which, I was like, I should know that name off the top of my head, but I honestly don't. As I looked, I'm like, Lady Hydra. Cool.
It's just, it's just short name to Madam Hydra. Like, that's
because I know Madam Hydra, but I was like, I don't know this name. I'm supposed to, but I don't. And this is setting up for John Walker's U.S. agent thing later, but we'll get to that. Other things that happen in episode 5 are catch is played, boats are fixed, and montages are had. John, what am I talking about?
So Sam and Bucky have a conversation, which is great. Kind of talk about what's on each other's minds while genuinely playing catch with the shield.
They don't just throw it back and forth. They throw it off of like trees and stuff, and it's really cool.
I don't know if we touched on this. They do fight Walker and take the shield back. They do incapacitate Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Take the serum, which I don't think we also covered. Zemo stomped the serum, so stomped the vials. So the serum is done. There's no more serum.
Because he hates the superheroes.
Yes. He thinks there should be no superheroes, which I totally get it. Which also echoes with his line, I don't know if it was episode 3 or 4, where he's like, you can't, as long as people want to be greater than other people, you can't not have supremacy. Like, you can't not have that. So, for that reason, there should be no heroes. And I'm like, you know what? Making a lot of sense. Emo. So Walker does spot one last vial, and he has a one-on-one with Battlestar before he's like, listen, would you take the serum? And Battlestar's like, absolutely. Remember that horrible war we were in? All those people that died? Could have probably saved if we had serum. He's like, God, you know what? You're right. So he took it. And then earlier in the series, Sam was asked point blank by Zemo, would you take the serum? And without hesitation, he said, no. Nope. Not for me. Because he doesn't want to be greater.
Takes it, gets his butt kicked by Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's the name of the show. And they take the shield back. He loses his ranks, yada yada. They have the shield. They're playing catch with it off of trees, which is very cool. And they're having that heart to heart. And Bucky's like, I don't feel better. I've done, my penance. And Sam goes, have you though? Or have you been getting revenge? Not that there's anything wrong. I understand where you're coming from, but have you actually been helping people? Have you actually been making amends? Which will eventually lead to, in episode 6, where Bucky apologizes and explains the death of I believe it's Nakayama, the gentleman from the bar, the Japanese gentleman from the bar, whose son, he's like, my son's dead and I don't know how it happened. They just said it was wrong place, wrong time, but I have no closure. So he gives this man closure, which is really how Bucky finds closure with himself. He finds that his actions previously were not his own, were not his fault, and he can finally kind of rest with that. He ends up leaving the book with his therapist at the end of episode 6 and kind of doesn't move on, but like he's able to make amends with himself and try to just be better from here on out, which is very cool. And it's because of Sam is the catalyst for a lot of change here, as well as changing himself. Because the other thing that Sam does in episode 5 is he goes and brings the shield to Isaiah. And Isaiah's like, you know, come on in, but I don't want to see the shield. I don't need the shield. They're never going to let you be Captain America. You know that, right? And Sam's like, well, like, you're black. They're never going to let you be Captain America. They don't want a black Captain America. I should know, because they tried to make me that, and they didn't want it, and they locked me in prison. And this kind of disheartens Sam a little bit, and understandably so, because Isaiah has lived through all of the negativity that Sam is worried that he may face. And Isaiah's kind of that living memory of, no, Sam, don't do it. It's going to be incredibly difficult and incredibly hurtful to you. Sam talks to his sister, and his sister's like, are you just going to let him do that? And he's like, you know, he's right in certain aspects, but at the same time, I can't just drop it and ignore it. Not because Steve told me, not because Isaiah told me, because I know it's the right thing to do. I want to help people. And it's really nice. You get to see Sam grow too. So Sam not only is a catalyst for change, but he himself is changed throughout the whole show, and it's really great. What else happens in episode 5? Episode 5 is where Zemo gets caught. Yes, John, how does Zemo get caught by the Dora Milaje?
Well, the Dora Milaje come in to take Zemo, and Walker is there to take Zemo with Sam and Bucky.
Oh, this is actually before. That's a great scene though. You're right, because that's really where Walker snaps. We forgot to talk about that in episode 4. Walker snaps when the Dora Milaje come in and they're like, we're taking Zemo, and Walker's like, no, you're not. I'm taking Zemo, and they kick his butt up and down that room.
Because what he does is he goes and like puts his hand on Io's shoulder, like, no, we're taking him. And I saw a meme of that where that happened and it paused and he goes, and that was when I knew I messed up.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Oh yeah, they said a swear. They said a swear.
So it was an awesome fight. Io even stomps on the shield and wields it on her arm too, which is cool. Like, I love that move so much. It never gets old to me.
That's great.
Yeah, so then Zemo gets away.
Oh, hold on. So John, in that part, says they weren't even super soldiers. Or they weren't even super powered. And that's like where he starts to break. That's when him and Lamar had the conversation about the serum. But yes, go ahead.
It's the dominoes start to fall. That's where Battlestar is killed. God. Yep. So good. So good. So, Zemo gets away. Bucky tracks him down. And he's at the memorial. The Sokovia Memorial, where he previously asked Sam and Bucky, did you see the memorial? I said, no, of course not. Why would you? So he's there. Bucky tracks him down there. And Zemo tries to get Bucky to kill him. He's like, listen, like, this has got to be, like, there's no other way to stop this. You have to shoot me, which also goes back to Civil War, where Zemo tried to kill himself, and then Black Panther came in and said, the living aren't done with you yet. Put his, like, suit, which is vibranium, so the hand over it to catch the bullet.
It's great.
It is great. So, similar thing happens, only Bucky takes out a gun, puts it to Zemo's head, clicks, nothing, drops the bullets, chamber's not loaded, and he's just like, yeah, that's not me. That's not going to happen. I'm not that person anymore. And then the Dora Milaje come in on either the same or a similar jet that we saw in Black Panther to escort him to the raft.
It's great.
So good.
But Bucky there says, hey, I got to call in one more favor.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what that favor is quite yet. We then get so that's the catch, that's the conversation, now we get the montage. We then have Sam doing a montage of training to become, worthy of the shield, and maybe start wielding the shield.
Putting in the work, which is what he tells Bucky to do about making amends. You got to put in the work. You have to do it because you want to make amends, not doing it because you don't want to feel guilty anymore. Which
this montage made sense to me that it happened, but I didn't like the one thing I had with this was like the time of it. Was it a day. It felt like either a day or it felt like 3 months. I couldn't tell. And I couldn't tell if Sam was ignoring Carly's movements or if Carly was laying low and he was I couldn't tell. I didn't like how that was set up. I didn't like how that particular thing was done in the show. But I like that he did I liked the putting in the work and then him actually putting in the work. I just would have liked the time to be more clarified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have easily been clear.
So with this in mind, Sam then gets a call from his buddy Torres, who is in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Torres, he's in the Armed Forces.
Some military branch, I imagine. The Air Force.
Currently working on fixing those wings. Maybe we'll see him later. Maybe.
He's like, yeah, these things are busted. And Sam just goes, keep them.
But don't you ever put him on and become the Falcon.
You know, I would love to see him become the Falcon that way and not like a weird mixture of bird blood to physically mutate him into a Falcon-like creature. I'd be super, not Falcon-like, but a human with Falcon features. I'd be very into that if that's the route they took. Like, let's go with that.
Come on. That was so cool. It makes perfect sense for the universe. Anyway.
It made more sense for the comic universe than the MCU.
It's just stupid. Yeah, for the movies it'd be stupid. So Torres like, hey, got some info. Carly's got to move. They're going to be at the place with the politicians where they're going to decide on the vote for the borders, which is the whole thing Carly's been trying to stop. No more borders, one nation, one people.
In Manhattan for some reason.
Yeah, whatever. Where's the actual UN? Because this is kind of like a fake UN. Is the real UN in New York? Okay.
Yeah, New York City.
So Falcon's like, I gotta go. And Bucky handed him. So Bucky also comes at this point and had worked on Sam's sister's ship, like the boat. That's kind of like the livelihood. And that was when the loan was trying to be done, yada, yada. And Sam's like, hey, let's call in a bunch of favors because they all owe us after our parents died because our parents were so good to this town. And they end up getting the supplies needed to fix the boat. And him and Bucky work on it together. And that's kind of the other part of their conversation is while they're playing catch. Also, while they're fixing the boat, they have this conversation. And he drops off and goes, here, this is for you. It was a favor from the Dora Milaje. Enjoy. And he hadn't opened it to this point. At the end of episode 5, Falcon opens this suitcase, and then the credits roll. And I was so mad. I was like, no! You can't do this to me! And they did it to me. And there's a great TikTok I saw of two guys watching... it just cuts to them, like it opens up, and they're filming, and the guy's packing his bag, goes, no, Marvel! No, you can't do that! And the credits for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are on behind him. He's like, no, I'm done! You can't do that, I'm done! It was great.
I mean, that's like how I felt, right? So.
Right? But what a wait, because next episode we'll get to see it. The last thing that happens in episode 5 is... Somebody calls Batroc the Leaper and brings him in to the Flag Smashers, and he's like, I want to kill the Falcon, I get to kill him. And the Flag Smashers are like, right, here we go do the thing. And that episode ends. So and John builds a really crappy shield in the post-credit scene.
Like Iron Man, because the world's upside down.
Yeah. Episode 6. The plan for the Flag Smashers is going into fruition. The politicians are all meeting in one place. They're going to stop the politicians from voting. Blah, 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 blah. But not if Bird and Buck can stop them. I'm sorry, did I say Bird? I meant Cap and Buck. Because we finally get the Falcon is Captain America. Sam Wilson is Captain America.
I wasn't 100% sure we'd get it. But I continue to be impressed that we're doing it. I love that with these shows, they are doubling and tripling down on the comics and source material.
First Wanda, now this.
I love it so much.
More comic accurate costumes, please. What did you think of the suit?
If you would have told me, oh my god, if you told me in 2015, hey, it's Captain America that a lot of garbage people are up in arms against.
You mean racists?
Yeah.
Oh, no, synonym, right? Synonym, racist, garbage, same thing. Right. My bad.
Are up in arms against? Yeah. What if I told you in the comics they will not only introduce Sam Wilson, who had a very supporting role in Winter Soldier, will become Captain America?
No way.
I would have done a very Seinfeld, Elaine Benes style. Get out! And shoved you, and he would have broken something, and he would have sued me, and I would have been financially destitute. So I'm glad you didn't tell me in 2015.
Because now John can afford to pay for Disney Plus, where he gets to see the costume.
Hey.
What did you think of the costume?
Oh my god, I loved it. Like, it's not a goofy costume, but like it's got stuff to it that's not common, right? Goggles out of nowhere. I love the whole face, like the white face mask to it. Very crisp, very clean costume. I love the wings with it. It's great. I've always loved this costume. And I'm just like, there's no way we'll get a live action version. And then we did.
Wrong.
But then we did. So, emphatically happy to see it.
I agree with you 100%. I loved it. Do you remember about 3 months ago when there was like Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoilers ? And I was like, I'll check it out, but you guys don't check it out. And then I was like, oh, don't look at it. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
This is what it was. So the toy had
3 months you sat on this.
3 months I've sat on this. And it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Disney Plus, like on Disney Plus, and it had him in the comic accurate suit. And I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. And then they did it.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember that day. I was like, I'll check it out. And then the chat, don't look! Do not click the link! I repeat, do not click the link!
Yeah, I think I was like, maybe I'll do it. And you're like, no, you don't want to see it!
John, you don't
like,
want
okay.
this! You don't want no part of this! And I was right. You did not.
Yeah, I did get it spoiled for me, unfortunately, on social media.
But at least it was spoiled only a day before.
Right, like, yeah, it was because I watched it Saturday. So, yeah.
Rather than 3 months, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So episode 6. Episode 6 is the climax. And we get... a lot of stuff happens in episode 6. So Bucky and Cap show up at the not UN, but UN, and they're going to help. And Falcon starts flying around, or Cap starts flying. I guess I start calling him Cap. Cap starts flying around, getting ready to save people. And Bucky is going to go in and infiltrate, and someone stops him. And there's someone we've never seen before, and they pull their face off, and it's Sharon.
Like that movie Face Off. It is Sharon. I actually like that movie Captain America Winter Soldier.
Oh, right.
It's the same facial technology that Black Widow used as part of the Global Security Council.
What a good... I'm going to watch that movie today. While I'm editing this podcast, I'm watching that movie.
It's an excellent time. Yeah, it's a great
On your
movie.
left.
Holds up. So she somehow just appeared in New York. Ms. I can't get back to America without a pardon. Just appears in New York City. Sure. Sure.
It's almost
So
like she
and Bucky...
brokered some kind of power thing.
Whoa.
Whoa, we're not there yet.
Whoa. Then she's working with Bucky while Sam has to take care of things in the air. Well, actually, no. First, he's fighting Batroc the Leaper.
Well, no. That's about the same time. Because he goes to fight Batroc the Leaper once Bucky gets the phone call.
Yes.
So Bucky gets a phone call. He's given a phone, and someone's like, it's Carly for you. And he's like, what? Lady I've never met before? And he's like, hello? And it's Carly Morgenthau. And Carly Morgenthau's like, you don't have to do this anymore. You can be on our side. You can, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, that's okay. I've fallen 2 times before. I'm not going to fall again. Which was really cool because, like, he's fallen twice, like, in World War II and then with Thanos. So it's very cool bringing that back. He is like, yeah, I'm going to stop you, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to go save people because things are happening. And the things that are happening... Oh, and also Sam's saving people. The things that are happening are the Flag Smashers, since they are so numerous and they are so beloved as of right now, they are infiltrating these places and they're stopping the vote from happening. The vote essentially is to restore borders so that people... And to pull people out of, like, the homes that they founded. Because over the 5 years during the blip, people found new homes, found new jobs, found new lives, found new loves, and moved to different places in different countries. Well, these people want to restore it all and, like, make everything go back. And the Flag Smashers are like, no, we don't want to go back. We understand, we need to have a conversation. And everyone's like, no, we're not going to talk. We're just going to do it because we can do it. And they want to stop it. So they put some smoke bombs out there and everyone evacuates. But they don't just evacuate. They evacuate into transportation run by Flag Smashers. So helicopters, cars, all run by Flag Smashers so the Flag Smashers can kill the politicians or capture the politicians or something. They don't say exactly.
I feel like it's They heavily insinuate it's killed because they get him shepherded into vans and then put something on the back. Is it an explosive? Is it a lock? Who knows?
It's definitely a lock, but it could be two things.
So I feel like it's insinuated they're going to kill, but definitely not said they're going to kill him.
Yes. So they do this, and at the same time, Cap flies in and fights Batroc the Leaper, and it's great. Just like Cap did in his best movie, the first fight is against Batroc the Leaper. We get it here with new Cap as his new best movie, because it hasn't had a movie yet, but I'm going to say it's the best one so far. It's a TV show. He fights Batroc the Leaper. Once he realizes that there's stuff going on wrong with the helicopter, he's like, all right, see you, Batroc, I'm out. I'm going to go help save them. And he goes off to do that. And Bucky runs off with Sharon to go save people that were taken in cars. At that point, Sharon melts a guy's face with like acid, and it's super messed up and dark.
Yeah.
I would never want to broker with her. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait, whoa. We're not there.
We'll get there.
Let's talk about what Falcon does first in the helicopter. This is really cool. So he needs to stop the helicopter pilot, but if he just takes the guy out, the helicopter will crash. So he sends Red Wing up, and Red Wing does this cool thing where Red Wing scans and finds people's faces and like looks up their backgrounds and see if any of them have any training to fly a helicopter. And the way it does is it like searches databases and stuff for their face and their identities, and finds a woman. And Falcon flies up to the window and like points to his ear, and the lady like pops her little AirPods out and puts them in her ear, and he goes, "Hey, can you hear me?" And she's like, "Don't nod, don't say anything, because like, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take this guy out. You're gonna take over the helicopter. You understand me? It's gonna take timing. It's gonna take precision, but you can do this. I believe in you." And he's just already capping it up, and he's great. He's like, "All right, 3, 2," and he does it. And takes the guy out, pulls him out of the helicopter, throws him into the water, and the lady jumps the seat, grabs the controls, and brings them all to safety, saving them all. And what I love about this is that, 1, Steve could have never done this. 2, Steve would have absolutely done this if he could fly. Like, it's not just about you saving the day, it's about you helping others to save themselves and to save each other. And it's beautiful. And that's like what America should be about. And it's so great.
It's great. It's also like it works very, very well for a TV show. Like the stakes are high, but it's such a smaller scale than like the world is in peril. So good. So very well done. Bucky
chases after a couple of cars that have the people inside them and is able to stop them and free those people. And when he's doing this is the first time Bucky is just straight up thanked. It's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You saved us." And Bucky's like, "You're welcome. This is weird. I don't know what to do, but you're welcome." Yeah. With this, Carly is like, Bucky, you're the bad guy. And out of nowhere you hear, "Carly Morgenthau!"
And I went like, oh, someone's in trouble.
And who is it, John? Who's there to fight Carly?
John Walker.
He's going to fight Carly, and he's real mad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You killed Lamar." And she goes, "I didn't want to. I didn't care about Lamar. I wasn't supposed to kill him. It didn't matter." He's like, "You think Lamar's life didn't matter?" And she's like, "Well, not necessarily, but bye." And he goes after her.
One other thing I just remembered that we glossed over.
What?
How messed up was it that he went to Lamar's parents?
Oh my God.
And the family are like, "You're absolutely sure that like you killed the person who killed Lamar?" And he lies to their face and says yes.
It's pretty messed up, man. It's like pretty messed up.
Like, I can't imagine. Anyway, I'm sorry. As that had to be.
No, man, it's messed up for sure. Fights break out. Cap is fighting, Bucky's fighting, John Walker's fighting. And we got a great scene here where John's beating up on Carly and his theme is playing behind him. And it's in, I believe it's minor, where it's low and kind of dark sounding. John, we're not music people.
I'm not a doctor.
Okay, good. We're not music doctors. And he then has a choice. So he can go after Carly and kill her, or he can save a truck, because this truck is kind of she drove it over some scaffolding and it's going to fall like 60 feet and kill everyone inside. So he has two choices.
And
it
has the politicians in it.
Yes, it has politicians in it. Save the politicians and save people, or kill Carly. And he chooses to save the politicians, to save the truck. And as he's doing that, his theme kind of becomes more upbeat and in the major key, I believe. Again, not music doctors.
Would you say in a major way?
Ooh, I like that one. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. It's the pun police. I got to go to the door.
I'm not going back to jail.
I'm not going back to jail. So he does that, kind of uplifting, but then he's kind of tossed down to where where Bucky is. Bucky's underneath the scaffolding, underneath the truck, and the truck begins to fall again. And John is going to get killed. The flag smasher Bucky's fighting is going to get killed. Bucky's going to get killed, and it's falling, and then it stops. But why did it stop? Because Captain America's here, and he's pushing it back up. He's pushing the truck back up the scaffolding, and a guy yells, "Yeah, that's Black Falcon!" Which is touching back on the previous episode. And the guy next to him goes, "No, that's Captain America." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not crying. This is beautiful." It's so great. It's so great. At this point, Bucky and John split off, and Sam splits off to go. Sam goes to try to find Carly, and Bucky and John go to try to stop the other flag smashers. Also, John, his shield that he made in the post-credits for 5 lasts for maybe 5 minutes and is completely destroyed.
You're just like, man, I spent like 2 hours on that.
I worked so hard, like Iron Man.
I put my medals in it.
I painted it. This is dumb.
And I'm just saying, vibranium, accept no substitutes.
Absolutely. So Bucky and John track down some lieutenants that were working with Carly. And the way they do that is they use the Flag Smasher app, because there's an app for the Flag Smashers that they have been using this whole show to like set up meetings and set up like raids.
On that marketplace, I swear.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, "Hey, this is a pretty neat app. You're under arrest, by the way." And they arrest, and they're going to put those 3 lieutenants on trial, which is great. But Sam is going after Carly. And where Carly went, Sharon shows up. And she's like, "Oh, Carly, we could have been so good together." And Carly's like, "You're the power broker." And I'm like, well, that was very obvious. Like, what a way to say that. But okay. Thank you very much, Carly. I appreciate it.
I'd like to say that I called it.
The most surprising thing happened, and you called it from the beginning. Good for you, John. I'm very proud of you. You did a good job.
Thank you. They did have no friends in Hightown.
They did have no friends in Hightown. So Carly and Sharon are having a conversation back and forth, like, "Oh, you used me." "No, I didn't." Blah, 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 blah. And then Batter the Leaper's like, "I want more money. Give me more money, or I tell your people your secrets, Sharon." And Sharon just, okay, Sharon. Boom. I assume that's how he said it. Blows him away with a gun. Shoots him. And Batroc the Leaper's dead. We're not getting Batroc the Leaper anymore, and it's super sad.
That's fine. He was in 3 more episodes of MCU content than I thought we were ever going to get again.
So he got 3 episodes of the show, and then he got the movie.
Yeah.
If you told me George St. Pierre's Batroc the Leaper was going to be in that much, I would have called you a liar.
If you would have told me Batroc the Leaper was going to be in the MCU, I would have said you're out of your mind.
It's fantastic. It's great. It's very cool. So that happened. I love it. I love it so much. It's so stupid.
And what's his thing? He leaps. He can.
Right, but like
what's his thing?
No. That's it.
He can do it well.
Let's get George St. Pierre for it. You mean the really talented fighter? Yeah. Yeah. All right, that sounds good. Oh, and we're going to have him in a bunch more things after this. No, just 3 episodes. Oh. So Sharon kills him. Carly shoots Sharon. That's when Sam gets there. He's like, "Oh my God, Carly shot you." And Sharon's like, "She did. I'm a good guy."
Oh my God, look at her. Oh, and kills Carly.
Not yet.
Ties up all the loose ends that she had.
Hold on. Not yet. You're jumping all of the guns. Because Sam gets to have a heart-to-heart with her first and almost break through. And it doesn't work, and then she dies in his arms, and he's like, "No, but also I get it, Sharon, because she was absolutely about to shoot me."
But that is after she is shot.
Yes, it is after she's shot. And he takes her body to the politicians and lays her down, and he's like, hey. They're like, oh, you did a great service. He's like, yeah, that's great. Let's talk about why you guys are the worst. Let's talk about why you white politicians suck. And they're like, well, hold on. He goes, you be quiet. Just because you got an accent doesn't mean you're not white.
And this whole speech is
that doesn't actually
very
get
true.
said.
Yeah. But his whole speech it's very verbose. It's long, and it's very true to Captain America.
Did it feel?
Steve, be it Sam, it felt genuine.
Did it feel, not genuine, yes, of course. Anthony Mackie does a great job delivering it. If you, in a vacuum, told me that this scene was going to happen, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so cheesy. It probably came off so stupid. It probably is way too heavy-handed. No, I thought this was done magnificently. It doesn't feel forced.
Correct.
It feels legitimately like he's just having a conversation. And yeah, there are cameras on him. And is it believable that everybody's watching at the same time? Maybe not, but whatever. Like, it's comic books. Like, of course everyone's watching the thing on TV. But the things he says are so legitimate. It might have just been adverbed or ad-libbed. I don't know.
And it's very true to just Captain America. It's very true to the comics. Like, this is absolutely what would have happened. And absolutely what would have been said.
The thing, essentially what he says is like, you have to listen to people. You have to include the marginalized in the conversation. You have to include the people you're affecting in the conversation. You have so much power, blah, 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 blah. Think about it. And they're like, well, that's a lot of work. And he's like, you need to put in the work.
This committee has as much power as, he alludes to Thanos, but I think says mad god.
You have all of the power of an insane god and a teenage girl. Because that's Carly.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a great line.
Think about it. And he also brings up, like, you're going to bring up back these borders. Like, yeah, absolutely. And he goes, okay, and you're throwing around these words like terrorist, like, what do they think of you? Yeah, he definitely mentions thug. He's like, what do they think of you coming in here and disrupting the lives they've struggled to build during the blip?
I haven't thought about that, have you? He points to one lady, he goes, do you have enough money to solve world hunger, to write a check and solve world hunger? You have enough money to do this, this, and this. Why haven't you put any of that money into actually hearing people? And they're all like, well, I don't know. But, unlike the real world, there are actual reactions to his speech. Mm-hmm. And they decide not to. They do postpone the vote. They're not going to vote on it. Or they vote to not bring the borders back. Something like that. It's a positive. And that's great. And people have seen the new Captain America. And it's really cool. And I love that. But
I like that Carly's plan does, like, her goal does come to fruition, but through peaceful means, after all.
Yes. The lieutenants who were working with Carly are blown up by Zemo's butler.
Which I was just like, what?
Yeah, that was so weird.
Which that also, in theory, takes care of all the Winter Soldiers, save for Sam.
Yes,
not Sam, save for Bucky.
Bucky, yes, which is it's like it wraps up those loose ends. Sharon is given a full pardon for her service, and she's like, "Good, I will sell state secrets." Neat, of course, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, they say the Carter name has always been a name, like a trustworthy name in this country.
Wink!
Like, oh, not this Carter. Not this one.
Yeah, exactly. The part that did make me cry, and you shut up, was Sam calls Isaiah. He's like, hey. Isaiah's like, I saw what you said. And not bad, He doesn't say, like, you are Captain America, but, like, he does. He's like, maybe...
In their last encounter, he said they're never going to make a black person Captain America, and no black person would ever accept the role of Captain America. Yes. That was their last encounter. And
in this encounter, he's kind of like, all right, kid, like, I'll give you a shot. It looks like they're giving you a shot, and you've earned it, essentially. And he goes, yeah, all right, cool. I got something to show you and your nephew. Come on. And he takes him. He takes Isaiah and the future Patriot to the museum, where it's not the Smithsonian, but it is the Smithsonian. I forget if it's actually.
I think it is the Smithsonian.
It is the Smithsonian.
It's the same location from Winter Soldier, and they do name it
cool.
Smithsonian.
Okay, then it is the Smithsonian. He brings Isaiah to the Smithsonian, and they're walking through the Cap exhibit, and So what's important to know is that Isaiah has been erased from history. The government has hated him. He was deemed dead. to avoid everything. He's been tortured. He's been poked and prodded and experimented on. And no recognition. In fact, they've erased him from history.
And unlike Steve, he did not sign up for it.
Right. So he gets to the Smithsonian and sees the Captain America area, and there's a huge gold statue of him with his story written next to it. And he can finally be remembered, and he can finally live his life. And he cries, and he hugs Sam, and Sam cries, and John cried, and Jeremy didn't cry, and it was really nice, and it was beautiful.
I think Jeremy cried.
No, you shut up.
I have it on good authority. Jeremy cried.
Maybe. I don't know. It's so... Oh, my God. It was so nice.
Right? So good.
What a good way to wrap up that little story, for now. What a way to... You don't have to have a happy ending. In fact, arguably, it's better to not have a happy ending because it propels characters along. But my God, we all needed this right now. With that story, we needed Sam to have a happy ending so that he can go forward as Cap. We needed Bucky to have a little bit of a happy ending, he with some closure with the gentleman whose son he killed. We needed Isaiah. I needed Isaiah to have a happy ending because I swear to God that man deserved the happiest ending in the world. My God, it's so nice. What a way to end it. Oh, what a show.
The happy ending that's really a sad ending is John Walker.
Oh yeah,
he meets with Contessa Val. Don't call her that.
Don't call her Val.
And she's like, so how do you like the suit? Turns around, U.S. agent suit. Basically the same exact suit he had as Cap, but black instead of blue.
Yes.
Looks great.
And she calls him a U.S. agent.
Yeah. Apparently she's like, we don't need a Captain America. We need a U.S. agent. And he is over the moon emphatic and just goes, I'm back.
Which is funny because the cover of the book where he becomes U.S. agent, the Captain America book where he becomes U.S. agent, that's what it says, I'm back.
It's tragic because the character thinks it's a happy ending, but we know it's not a happy ending.
It's not a happy ending. But John's brainwashed, and it's unfortunate. Not you, John Walker. And then the end credits. So the end credits have said the Falcon and the Winter Soldier every time. This episode, when the credits come up, it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And
did you see it was almost going to be Captain America and the White Wolf?
Really?
They almost did it, yeah.
I like the Winter Soldier better.
If there's a season 2, maybe that's how the finale will end.
Hey, that would make sense to me. But man, oh man, that I out loud went, oh, that's awesome! In my living room by myself.
Just in case there's any room for doubt or actuallys. No, it is Captain America.
Great. What a show. 1 million out of 10. So good. Is it better than WandaVision? I don't know. I'm having a hard time ranking the both of them. I'm going to say they're both number one.
I think it's not. I think WandaVision is better just because more things that they do land better and have enough time to fully flesh out than this show, I feel.
That's fair. But this is great.
It was excellent. This is my garbage. This is my exact preferred corner of the Marvel Universe.
And everybody...
I'm into it.
Everybody loved it. Across the board. I know you were worried. You're like, man, coming off of WandaVision, are people going to like the gritty realism of this show? And they did. It did so well. It did
Which I'm impressed with. Anecdotally, I think there are more people watched WandaVision than this, which is interesting. But yeah, it's great.
It's all
great. Everyone who took the time to watch the show loved it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let us know your thoughts about Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We would love to hear from you. We're going to have our Patreon coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. If you want to donate money to us to help us continue with the show, we appreciate it. If you just want to support us for free, totally fine. We love you. Make sure to like us on Facebook, listen to us on your favorite podcatcher, subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate that. But you don't have to give us any money. But any money you do give us will be going directly back into the show. It's not going into our pockets. It's helping us pay for hosting, books, equipment, things like that.
It's here to smash the bell into oblivion and then reforge it into a bell and then have that bell break 5 minutes into a fight.
And kiss your loved ones with bell. I don't know. I lost it. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you next episode for Ed Brubaker's Winter Soldier. Ooh.
Part of it. We're not reading all of the 18 issues because, we don't have, unfortunately, all the time in the world.
Ooh.
You can follow us on Twitter at Talkin' Trades. Follow Jeremy on Twitter at LizardKing27. You can find John on Twitter at Maesterlaka, Maesterlaka. And for this and other projects from Matt, please check out Facebook at Matt Spina Music. And remember, we're not experts, we're fans.